So in this video, I want to talk through how to take your inspiration board. So hopefully, if you know me, if you've been in this membership for a bit, or if you've watched some of the other videos, you know that I'm a huge proponent of creating an inspiration board or a mood board. I really think that it helps frame expectation. It helps establish your personal style. It helps establish seeing it and then deciding this is too much like my personal style. It needs to feel different than my business style. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can approach finding content in the form of imagery for your website. You have photography, you have just the ability to use design in general with like typography, color, illustration, so many different things that you can use to make your site much more visually stimulating and visually interesting. So today I've pulled 3 different websites. I don't know these people. They're not like clients of ours. I do know one person, but I try to find sites that I'm not connected to. I haven't shot photography for. So the first one is this yoga bar studio, which I actually really like their style. I like their use of color, but you can see they have randomly these like empty squares, but maybe it's a vibe that they're trying to get. But you can see they have a picture here and then one up here. And so if you are someone who is maybe creating a website based around movement or fitness, until you have your own space, and even a lot of the places that we've done photography for, they've been in business for a while. So, it took them a while to finally invest in a big shoot. So I liked the style of this photo. I loved that it feels really bright. It doesn't feel perfect. There's a little bit of grain, but they're using natural light to really almost make the outer edges of this guy glow. And so I searched on Unsplash, which is a really great free resource for photography, and I found this photo. And so I loved it, how they were doing the same thing. There's a lot of this motion. There's this use of almost using the body to form a lot of these shapes. And I think all I searched for was yoga or fitness. And so I felt like this photo felt the same. So in this example, I really just wanted to showcase that you could still find a lot of that style. You can see here up at the top, I searched yoga, and even photos like this, if you were to crop this person right under the armpit, it really does feel a lot like something that's happening here. So I definitely think that it's possible to get a style of photography that is recognizable and isn't so overly used. Even this photo gives it a certain feel. The thing that I would be careful of is obviously a logo on the bra, but also if this isn't what your space looks like, or if you don't even have a space, I would stick to things that felt a little bit more neutral when it comes to the location. And so I could even see a brand really owning something like this. And then once you get to the point where you have a physical location, or you're really elevating the space, you could invest in a neon sign or something like that. So don't be afraid to let your initial restrictions and your initial limitations form your branding. So that was the first example. So this power yoga site, and really feeling like it connected to this photo. So I thought that it looked really similar in style. The next site that I found was this leather craftsman website. So they're obviously selling their own products. Again, these examples of these sites aren't to say that they use stock photo, but it's a way to understand how you can achieve something similar. So you can see that it's a lot of them working. They're really not calling out on one specific person. So it's a lot of these close-up photos. And so I even just searched some similar terms. I think I searched craftsman. And you can see here, this was probably like the most unique, but not specific on the person photo that I found. So you can see here, like this is definitely, this is so specific in who this person is. And if you don't look like that person, then it's a little weird. This is a little bit too I don't know, hardcore. Feels a little like something might catch on fire. But I felt like this felt something really neutral. Again, if you don't sell things like knives, I do think you can do something like searching leather. And I saw like, here's some bags. Again, when you have a product, it's really hard to fake your photography. But I do think there's a way to, call out some of these different elements and to feel really similar to something that you're seeing here. And so it's really just finding these keywords. We'll do one more with Unsplash, and then I have an example of illustration. This is our friend Lindsay's site, Made to Thrive. She does website development, and we've hired her for a few projects when Matt, our developer, is too busy. And she just relaunched her site, and it's this, it's definitely this feel that a lot of bloggers are attracted to. And so I feel like knowing her and her clients, she knows what they're interested in. And while I know that this is her because I know she got photography done for her site, it still feels a little anonymous. And so I found something similar, like an overhead photo with a laptop. They have a lot of these on Unsplash. Again, it's not going to be so cohesive all the time because these were shot specifically for this brand, but it's worth thinking through if you can search things like overhead, or if you search like iMac, computer, something like that, you can start to understand, what's available. Like this is so neutral. It doesn't feel like so tied to something specific that you might be making. And so there's just a lot of really great options if that's what you're looking for. The last website is very unique. I actually really love it. It looks like it's a conference. I am obsessed with it. This is obviously very custom. It's built to be around everything, all of the content. But I think it's worth saying you can either invest in illustration like this or look at Creative Market. So I searched abstract illustration and I found stuff like this, which again, you're not going to be able to accomplish something like this where these people are climbing each other and it feels so connected, but there is the ability to find different shapes and illustrations that you could use to build a vibe or a visual aesthetic for your brand, which I think is really powerful. So if you were to buy these, I think it's like $12. You could even say, you could tell a designer who's not an illustrator to utilize these and to show them this as inspiration and talk about how you want these different shapes and elements to be connected. And so again, I think it's understanding what your limitations are, whether it's financially or, can you keep this up? Like that's definitely a specific look that you might not be able to keep all the time. But if you have, fitness photos, or if you're working with different elements like this, I think you could start off with something really powerful that's a stock image or illustration, and then still stay within that style. So as you grow and as your business evolves, you can still capture custom photography that has the same feel and look to it. So hopefully that was helpful, and feel free to ask questions in the comment section, or send your own recommendations on ways that you've found a workaround for a custom shoot.